Checking into our forecast, we've had some pretty good conditions for today, but it's really been overshadowed by this massive plume of smoke emanating from the Gifford fire. You can see these massive plumes of that dark smoke, continuing to see those large-scale pyrocumulus clouds. Now, they made their way so high up into the atmosphere, there's a pretty large shield of that smoke across much of the region. At one point earlier on this afternoon, making their way over 11,000 feet up into the atmosphere. That's on the scale of those really strong thunderstorms that make their way so far up into the atmosphere. And you can just see how dramatic that was. Strong winds from the north to the south drew a lot of that smoke farther down to the south as well, meaning some communities had a great view of the plume, other communities dealing with significant areas of air quality concern. Now, the air quality concern is mainly just to the south of the fire. That's continuing through much of Santa Maria into the San Ynez Valley and along the Gaviota coastline. So lots of concerns there. But you can see this much larger area, this lighter color, that's that shield of smoke from that smoke that has made its way so far up in the atmosphere that now it's kind of trapped up there. And that shield of smoke can be seen as far south as into San Diego. So pretty large scale event, lots of smoke and lots of ash from that event as well. Now, a lot of it has been fueled by these stronger winds. Right now, about 17 miles an hour out there at the Gifford fire. On the whole, kind of a breezy afternoon into the evening hours, but we're starting to see a little bit of a shift. Many of our area wind gusts are going to be slowly starting to calm down into the overnight, except for our south coast. That's where we do have yet another sundowner wind event. Wind gusts upwards of 40, even 50 miles an hour later on this evening, right around sunset. Continuing to see some of those concerns, especially for the Gaviota coastline as well as Mariposa Reina. So something you may notice if you're driving along there later on tonight. Thankfully, that will also bring in some slightly calmer winds around the Gifford fire, but unfortunately, they're not going to last. Some gusts expected overnight. This is what we're expecting around 2 a.m., about 15 miles an hour. Then as we move into tomorrow, more of those wind gusts, 25 to 30 miles an hour across the region. We'll rinse and repeat that same situation along our south coast. It's going to be so windy for our south coast communities that we do have a wind advisory in place right now, lasting through 5 a.m. tomorrow. Pretty typical sundowner wind event. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw another one of these issued for tomorrow as well. So lots going on there. We do have a little bit more of that marine influence headed our way. Already starting to see some fog across many of our coastal communities. The good news is that cooler, dense marine air will make its way into the interiors overnight. Tomorrow morning is going to be a little bit on the foggy side. Tomorrow morning is also the first day of school for many of our community school districts. Starting off the morning with a lot of fog. You're going to want that extra layer waiting for the buses. But by the evening, we're going to be seeing much more comfortable conditions, kind of warm in those interiors by lunchtime. Lots of smoke for many of our coastal valleys as well. So kind of a mixed bag forecast for tomorrow. 94 degrees in Paso Robles, 71 in San Luis Obispo, 69 degrees in Santa Maria, 66 in Lompoc, 76 in Santa Barbara for tomorrow. Cambria at 61, 94 up in San Miguel tomorrow. 5 cities communities, 68 in Arroyo Grande, 94 up in Shandon, 63 degrees in Orchid. In the 5 cities region, down to the south as well, 80 degrees in Solvang, 83 in San Ynez, 75 degrees in Goleta. We do have a slight cool down over the next couple days. That's going to be bringing us more of those temperatures in the low 90s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Mid 70s in San Luis Obispo, low 70s for Santa Maria and Santa Barbara. A little bit less of that fire danger